would a nice guy like me have bariatric surgery? Hi, this is Kirk, the bariatric carnivore. About 10 years ago, I was coming back from New Orleans and I saw some very bright flashes in my eyes and they were terrifying. I thought for a moment that I was having a stroke. Turns out, nope, wasn't having the stroke, but there was something wrong with my eyes that was going on. And so I went to go see my eye doc, made a quick appointment. She brought me in and she kind of explained to me, said, I got some bad news for you. The back of your eyes are really decaying fast. And when you come back next year, I'm probably gonna have to give you some injections in the back of your eyes because you have macular degeneration starting to show up. And, it's kind of the wet type and it's gonna be dangerous. And, if you don't do it, you're basically gonna be blind. And that was a terrifying conversation. I said, well, what can I do about it? And she said, well, lose weight. Now, that to me is inherently stupid advice now. Frankly, it's like, great. Does that mean I become a meth addict or, start using heroin? Because those guys can lose weight pretty quick. But, she didn't tell me how to lose the weight. Just said, if you lose weight, it's going to make a difference. So I actually, I was highly motivated. I started taking action. I did what I thought you were supposed to do. I went to Weight Watchers and started doing calorie restrictive dieting. And it wasn't working. I was 50 years old and, this type of calorie restriction worked for me when I was younger, but it wasn't working for me now. And I didn't quite understand it and it was driving me nuts. And I was doing the program and I was walking and I was doing everything. I was eating less, moving more, and I was just hungry, miserable, and not losing weight. Nothing seemed to be working. And then I heard a podcast that got my attention. And it was on the fact that, when Weight Watchers says that they are the cure to help you lose weight, they're really not being completely truthful. See, when you really look at their success rate, it's about 1%. People that have to lose large amounts of weight, there's about a 1% success rate in actually being able to take it off and keep it off. Now, there are people that have to lose 10 to 15 pounds. Those people are successful using the Weight Watchers program. I'm not going to take anything away from them. But when I had to lose 100 pounds, I weighed over 300 pounds and I was in serious, facing blindness. I wanted to come up with a cure. So what was interesting was they talked about the real cure for obesity at that time, 10 years ago, was bariatric surgery. And I remember going, PS, come on, that's cheating. That can't work. That can't be a long-term thing. And yet, they mentioned the Cleveland Clinic was doing a 5-year study on the success of bariatric surgery. And about 67 to 75% of the people that had bariatric surgery lost a significant amount of weight and kept it off for at least 5 years. Okay, so I started looking it up and I started studying. Really, does bariatric surgery work and what type works? Now, there's several different types of bariatric surgeries. You can have a balloon implanted that takes up a large space of your stomach. You can have the vertical sleeve surgery, which I had, where they remove about 70% of your stomach. And then there's the luteal bypass system where they not only cut your stomach, but they reroute your intestines. Now, I wasn't going to do that one. But, I wanted to do the balloon surgery because at least that wasn't a permanent change. But as I studied it, I became more and more convinced that the sleeve surgery was actually the best one because it created such strong hormonal changes that affected the hunger system that I really believe that was my best chance for losing the weight that I needed to lose. But I didn't just go off and have the surgery right then. I actually studied it in a lot more detail because there's something about the surgery, those numbers that surprised me. How can you have 70% or so of your stomach removed and yet people don't lose weight and continue to stay fat? So I started studying and looking at individuals, and there's a lot of really good websites that were up there and YouTube channels from people that were showing their journey and how they successfully lost weight following bariatric surgery. And they're highly motivational journeys. Many of them are very spiritual and very personal. And, and how, the effects of weight loss on their personal lives and how, the things that come, that I really understood, the things that we had to go through when we were really overweight to being a normal sized person, and they explored that journey, but they also showed a lot on how to make the journey work. And I appreciate all those websites because I learned a lot and learned how, and I would practice before the surgery on how to sip water. And I got a shot glass and used that to sip water so that I could learn to drink slowly. So during that healing process, and lots of other good stuff, and started walking and preparing myself for the surgery to be in the best shape that I possibly could. And to make sure that my fatty liver went away by eating a very specific diet that the surgeon recommended. So I really prepared and worked hard. But I also looked at the people that failed, because if you Google, I hate weight loss surgery, it didn't work, and you look at those people, you're going to find out that 25% of the people who had bariatric surgery didn't succeed. Bariatric surgery was a magic wand, that it was going to somehow miraculously cure their ills, and they weren't going to change what they ate. And those people failed miserably. They regained their weight, and they were even more miserable than they were before. So my heart goes out to those folks that had that journey, but I took it very seriously and realized what I needed to do in order to make it successfully work. So I had this surgery and very quickly lost about 65, 70 pounds. And I was happy. I mean, I went from, some guy who had a 46-inch waist down to about a 38. Very comfortable in my own skin. It was great being able to fly without needing a seat extender and all the other stuff and the other embarrassments. People no longer look at you with that, wide-eyed look of horror that, oh my God, I hope he's not sitting next to me. I get it. When you're that overweight, what a problem that can be. But that wasn't the end of the journey. There's a lot of downsides that go along with having bariatric surgery, and I'm going to talk about that in the next video. But what I wanted to leave you with was the idea that, bariatric surgery is not a magic bullet. It is not something that, if you have it, you're going to automatically lose weight, and you don't have to worry about what you eat. You do have to worry about what you eat. You have to think about it even harder in a lot of ways, because sometimes there's some inherent vitamin deficiencies that go along with it, and there's downsides to bariatric surgery that they don't often talk about, and I really didn't discover until after it was all said and done. I mean, if I had it to do over again, would I do it? No. But it did begin a journey of 10 years of growing in health and learning more about how to become healthier. And that's what we're going to be exploring on the rest of this channel.